Hello again, it's Mr. Pete, your internet shop teacher. Welcome back. And this video is in regards to safety when using the RHODES Shaper. As always, guard your eyes as if you only have two of them. Wear either a face shield or safety glasses or both, because sometimes the chips really fly off the tool on a shaper. Here are 10 safety precautions provided by the National Safety Council many years ago, and these are all specific to the shaper. Read through these several times and commit them to memory. I will post this again at the end of the video. And of course, all of the general safety rules that we use in the machine shop apply to the shaper as well. That is, wear no jewelry, loose clothing, do not use drugs or alcohol, and do not be distracted by other people. Do not wear gloves when operating machine. This RHODES Shaper is about 100 years old, so naturally there were no belt guards on it when I bought it. So the first thing I did was to put a belt guard on the pulleys and belts that come from the motor to the machine's jack shaft. And similarly, from this side, I made another belt guard that protects this belt and the pulleys, because your hand will often be near this hand wheel, and you do not want to inadvertently stick your fingers into a belt and pulley. As opposed to the South Bend Shaper, which was designed in the late 40s or early 50s, and it comes with an aluminum belt guard nicely designed to cover the belt and pulley coming off of the motor. Now, I'm still at the South Bend Shaper here, but it came equipped with a nice hinged belt guard on this side that allows you to open it and make easy changes to the speed of the stroke. Always keep it down and in position when running the machine. There is a hazard on any shaper at the back of the machine where the ram comes back. Now, it's not nearly as dangerous on a small shaper as a large shaper, but should you be working back here and the machine come on, or somebody else playing with a switch or something like that, this could come back, especially if it's set for a long stroke, and do serious bodily injury, and especially if your head's there, a head injury is very likely. But let me expand that thought just a little bit. This may be slightly off topic, but on a larger shaper, one that has perhaps a 24 or 36 inch stroke, there's the possibility of the ram coming back and striking the wall or striking a man that's walking through there if the machine was turned on. But it could be a pinch point between the wall or a post or whatever happens to be back there. So care has to be taken here, and on larger machines there needs to be a guardrail around the back. Some of the large machines have a pan that sticks out here. Part of the reason probably is to catch oil, but anyway, be aware of that. And when I was teaching at the high school, there was a large Rockford shaper, and the kids set it on a long stroke, and it came back and hit the metal wall. It was a sheet metal building, and if we were to go down there right now, I could show you the spot on the wall that was struck by the ram of the Rockford shaper, so be careful. I do not like the switch on this shaper. It's nothing more than a light switch. It would be very easy to inadvertently strike that, possibly while your hands are near the tool or you're making an adjustment. So that should be replaced, I think, with a push button switch. Looking again here at the South Bend Shaper, you can see that this type of switch, I believe, is much safer. On these smaller shapers, you have to open the hatch to make adjustments such as to change the length of the stroke. And I suggest that when you do that, that you unplug your machine for safety, or turn the breaker off. Close the door at all times when operating the machine. When you're making cuts on your machine, be sure and remove rags or cloths tool should not be sitting on the vise, and just nothing extra here where it could get knocked off or struck or pulled into the work with the tool as the tool retracts. Remove your chips only with a brush, and that can be done when the machine is running, but I suggest that you turn it off. Never stick your fingers in there to flick a chip away, or even a tool such as a screwdriver. Use a brush. A brush is disposable. It only costs $0.25. Sometimes the operator puts his head very close so he can see better, and make sure that you or someone else does not turn the machine on where this would strike you. You would have a severe head injury. Once you've made all of your adjustments and are ready to cut, and I've told this to the people over and over, always take a sample run, the full stroke, to see where the tool is going to cut, and that everything is clear and you're not going to crash the machine, you're not going to damage the machine, the tool, or the work. Be very sure that the work is held securely in the vise is attached securely, or if you're using clamps or other work holding devices, that everything is tightened so it cannot move when you start cutting. I have noticed on this machine, when you're using the power feed, there is a pinch point here where your thumb could get conceivably caught between this knob and this knob. Let the machine come to a full stop. Do not attempt to slow it down with the hand wheel. A larger machine than this has an awful lot of inertia. Some larger shapers have a lot more controls than this. The big Rockford shaper we had at the high school had quite a large crank, much bigger than this, that was used down here. I forgot exactly what it did. I think it was to adjust the length of the stroke, but if it was left on the shaft and the machine was turned on, it would instantly either throw the crank off or the crank would come around at a relatively high speed. It was much lower than that, and if it hit you in the leg, I'm sure it would break your leg. So make sure that wrenches and cranks and so on are removed if they present a hazard. This is a very dangerous pinch point. Do not have your fingers anywhere near that when you're moving the hand wheel by hand or turning the machine on. That thing would love to take your finger right off. Look at the power feed. Never leave your machine unattended while it is running. There might be a tendency to do that because these machines are so slow compared to a milling machine. You may go over to wash your hands or something else, and if you run to the end of your feed, you can do great damage to your machine if there are no stops or automatic shutoffs, which there is not on these smaller machines. So stay with the job and keep your mind on the job. Do not leave the machine. Do not make any adjustments to the machine while it is running. So just be careful, enjoy your machine, and enjoy it safely. That concludes this video, but I would like you to read through these safety rules that are posted at the end. This is Mr. Pete saying so long for now.